Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I have 5 vowels. What's best? Well, all 1-point tiles. And I'm thinking about playing OU. Although vowel heavy, this is a very bingo-y set of tiles. I'm going with this. Great, that looks like it's paid off. Surely I have a bingo now. So Cantia certain, Crinate, probably others. And I think it'll be difficult for opponent to block all of them. Nakrite and Takrine. That's up to 5, and there could be more. I know in general one doesn't keep a vowel heavy rack, but AEI NT is super bingo-y. So, do I have a bingo? Do I have anything which front hooks OU? No, I don't. So column 7 isn't available. I can see straight away I have Nakrite in column 10. Let me put this down. I think this is likely to be the play. 477. Is anything going to be better? Well, I guess yes, if it could extend further down. So let me consider the words so far. Cantia, and I'm really focusing on where the I is in the word. It needs to be in the first 4 letters. Cantia, creatine, Crinate. That doesn't play. Nakrite, Takrine. Okay, I can't do any better than this. Well, not great, but not terrible. I have scoring potential in the Z, and it goes well with vowels. I have Zayin on my rack. Quad only takes an S. OE only takes an S. So already access to the board is being limited. I don't have anything which goes... Well, I have an N which goes in front of out, but that's all. So Zayin does play in column 7, but not for a big score. C only forms part of one 2-letter word, which is CH, so parallel plays in column 11 are restricted, and that was part of the attraction of Nakrite, inhibiting opponent's ability to come back with a big score. Out takes an A, and Chi takes an N, and that's more for future reference than any utility this turn. Opponent taking a while. Is he about to come back with a bingo? And is column 7 Zayin the best I can do with the board as it stands? I don't think so. I've got Zayin in row D. I don't think there are any plays which play off both Ys and the Z. Now opponent's blocked both spots for Zayin. What to do? So I have Yay over the top of Vila. I don't think Vila takes an S. And Yay's not bad, it only takes an S. It invites a high-scoring play in row B, but that in turn will provide access to row A. 27 points, quite good. The Z is quite good. But can I do better? And also, YE takes a Z, so I do have a Z spot. So I actually have COS for next turn if opponent doesn't play above YE, so I think that seals the deal in terms of playing Yay. So, what do I have here? Could be close to a bingo. I suspect there are some 9-letter plays with these tiles, but very few floaters on the board, and I'm not seeing a 7. So Kaz and Cos both available. Do I have anything through the V? Don't think so. What about a play in row B? Yes, I have Moz. So, opponent likely to play top right, and that will influence all of my options so far. I'm not seeing anything great anywhere else on the board. I don't have to play the Z off. So do I have a play in column 8 through the V of any description? Not sure I do. Could really use an E for going after the V. V even worse than the C in terms of two-letter words. It doesn't take, it's not part of any, so rows C and E are completely out of action for the moment. And again, opponent taking a while on his move, but last turn that only resulted in Vila. Interesting, opponent playing EL, ER, all of which are bingo-y tiles. And with drawing 5 tiles, he would be fortunate to have a bingo, but not absurdly so. So, any other Z spots I haven't considered? I've still got this NA spot, but since OE only takes an S, that's unlikely to be useful. Nakrite only takes an S. Now, column 8 at the bottom for 6-letter plays. Gosh, close to Amazon. All of my vowels can go next to the D. Wow, just not seeing a 6-letter play. That is available for future moves and will provide a lot of floaters, so it's quite an open play. Now, what about Azioni? A-Z-I-O-N-I. I don't think it's good. I think I'm confusing it with something else. Wow, 52 points for opponent. And it's not good. So, what has opponent done? He's left alone my cos spot. NAR not good, otherwise... Well, I was thinking of Zoni, but that's an A, not an E. Let me consider cos. 47 points, which is fantastic. And the rack leave isn't terrible, just the duplicate eye, a slight fly in the ointment. But I am going with this. So, bingo-y tiles, just too many duplicates, I think. I'm not seeing a 7 here. And there aren't too many 8s to consider. Opponent finally playing a little bit quicker. C takes nothing in front, so he's not opened the board up. So I have Airman in column 8 at the bottom. Do I have something at the top which will be less volatile and probably score more and have a better rack leave? No, I'm not seeing a play. So do I have any alternatives to Airman? Let me see what this scores. 30 points, quite decent. Although they were bingo-y tiles, there was no ES or blank. So even the best rack leave would probably only be worth 5 or 6 points. And I'm getting 30, so I'm not seeing anything equivalent elsewhere. I'm going with this. Well, not great, but hardly surprising when drawing 6 random tiles. I still don't have anything through the V. But Airman has provided a lot of floaters. I'm going to struggle to play off many tiles here. And I'm also going to struggle to leave a decent rack leave. Wow, what a play. 77 points. Opponent goes into the lead. can I do? So I have plaid, which sorts out the duplicate I, scores 30 points, which is quite decent. Keeps the board open, which I'd like to do since I trail. Retains the W, which isn't good. So, gosh, so close to Willie. But that doesn't work. I haven't got anything to go in front of the P. So, still another W to come. Not seeing anywhere for Willie. Well, what about spelling it like this? 34 points, keeping DP. Not sure this is good. That was 34 points. Why wasn't it more? That's all it scores. What about here? 19. Tricky. Plaid and Willie score the same, but Willie gets rid of the W but provides a scoring spot in column 1. I think I will go with the higher scoring play. Wow, pretty grim pickup. Only one vowel, a long way from a bingo. This feels like a similar pattern to the last game where I bingoed early doors and then opponent comes back with, well, 2 back-to-back bingos. Look at that, 92 points. And I'm in no position to reply, and I trail by 80. So, what to do here? I think this rack is too good to change. Well, I've still got the PL spot down the bottom. And I now do have a U for going in front of P. No, not seeing a play. Well, I have Gup. 26 points, quite decent. If I draw vowels, I'll be in good shape. But slightly risky, keeping 4 consonants. I really need to draw 2 vowels to have a decent rack. And I'm only getting 26 points. So that's 24, keeping G-U-D. Grim. Is there anywhere for Gulp? Owl and Sip, but that doesn't score very much. Let me see what Gulp scores here. 15 points, keeping DST. I am going to go with Gup for 26. And I draw just the 1 vowel. The I is available as a bingo-y floater. Quad takes an S. I've got one. But I'm not seeing a bingo. I'd quite like to play through the V to create more bingo floaters, but I'm not seeing a way of doing that with this rack. I don't think this makes a bingo with any vowel. But it's too good a rack to change. Nakrite doesn't take a D. So, and I'm not able to have a play in column 2, getting the D tripled and the play doubled. So the best I can do in column 2 is Den, but I'd quite like to leave that alone because column 2 and column 3 are currently bingo lanes. Now, row H, interesting. I've got out, so yeah, I could play out lens. Still 2 S's to come. Both blanks have gone. 31 points for opponent. Let me see what Outlands scores. 30 points. And creating new floaters. I think this is worth doing. I trail by 80 points, so I can't really afford to have low-scoring plays, and I'm going to struggle to score with no scoring tiles. Opponent's play has provided nothing for me because I would need 2 vowels to go next to F and R. I'm going without lens. Not good. Ouch. Okay. Well, I do want to keep the board open. Cos takes an E. Can't see anything in column 13. Fend is the best I can see coming out from the F, and I'm in the same problem of keeping 4 consonants, which I'd like to avoid. And I don't really want to kill the floaters in Airman. So, tricky spot. If I play Lend in column 7, I'm not scoring very much. What about Kindled? Turns over tiles, which I want to do to draw vowels, and I'm creating floaters and scoring 26 points and a decent rack leave. I like this. And I draw the X for EX, so I've got Ox in that spot. Opponent not quite out of sight yet. Only 21 points, that's good. Now the trouble with Ox is that I'm keeping 5 consonants, including the V. So I'm just wondering whether to play Vexed instead. For a lower score, 20 fewer points, but a much better rack leave. I'm splitting up duplicate T, which isn't a massive deal, but I'm burning the V. And I'm preserving a vowel, so just generally the vowel consonant balance is ideal, with 2 consonants more than vowels, so this is a lot better than a 5 consonant leave. Is there any other spot on the board for Vexed? No, don't think so. I'm going with this. Okay, and I trail by 49, so I'm still within a bingo's reach of opponent. Through an N, I would have Boasting. So where are the floaters? There are the floaters in Airman, and then there's the D. Well, the D doesn't look great. Gosh, through a P, I would have Pig Boats. But both P's are not available. 42 for opponent. Interesting. So still 11 tiles left. I can play Jygot. And that's 39 points. That's pretty decent, and that keeps me within a bingo's reach of opponent. What would score more is Jabot, 42. I don't really like the G. However, there are 2 N's to come, and that would give me an ING ending. And B is not a bingo-y tile, so I am going with Jabot. So, Swinger, and that plays in column 11, Swinger and OES. Will that stay available? And do I have an alternative bingo? Well, opponent's blocked that. Numerate does take an S, I think, but I don't have a play which goes there, and Gerrit has blocked Red Wings. Outswing is good, I'm pretty sure, but the bag is empty, and, well, opponent's just bingoed with Numerate, so he's out of sight even if I do bingo. What do I get on count back? 20 points, 363. I would need a 99-point bingo to draw. Well, I don't think that's going to happen. So, 8 minutes on my clock. Do I have a bingo? So, what are the anagrams? Swinger and Wingers. And I think that's it. Well, neither of those hook numerate. What about the A? Resoaring. Well, that doesn't play. How about the M? Nothing there. What about column 3? That would need to begin EN. Not seeing anything. 7 minutes on my clock. The N. Not seeing anything. What about ADS words? Well, I think I have soldering, but that doesn't work with AD in this spot. So I think I've exhausted all of the bingo lanes. Nothing beginning with N, so I will play outswing for 48. And does opponent have a final bingo to rub salt into the wound? He would have house sat through an A and housiest through an I and house sit. Fortunately, none of those available. So I don't think opponent does have a bingo, but in any event, he has one. So what can I do with ER? Fur is good, so I've got re and fur for 16. Let me do this somewhat methodically. Nothing around the X. I hope I didn't miss a bingo on that last turn. Such a nice rack. O and Sir, only 10 points. Not seeing anything with numerate. Numerate does take an E in front, but the L blocks that. Yeah, so the best I'm seeing is RE and Fur. 10 minutes on opponent's clock. Well, he doesn't have a bingo, or doesn't find it. And yeah, I'm not seeing anything better than RE for 18. And the final score, 415 to me, 506 for my opponent, a winning margin of 91 points, so well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. I haven't congratulated my opponent. Let me do that first. And now let's see what I missed. Quite a high-scoring game, both of us over 400, opponent over 500. So it was me to go first, and this is a long rack-wrecking play, and I'm more than happy to sacrifice 8 points to keep AEINR. Opponent's rack plays quad, and Nakrite 77 was the highest scoring play, and the only play with that score. Now, opponent's rack plays Vila, and I play Yay for 27, but Zany C12. Because of ZE, Zany available for 47, probably a better play. 20 extra points, and an inferior rack lead, but not 20 points worse. Actually, these rack leads look jolly difficult to calculate, so let me have a go. IOY, pretty grim. I would say that's between -10 and -15. And INOZ, I would say, is positive. I would say that's a nice rack leave to have and better than average. So possibly as much as +4 or 5. So actually there could be a 20-point difference in valuation of rack leaves. So yay, in that case wouldn't be so terrible. Now, opponent's rack plays Fash, which was a great spot. And I play Cos and Kaz available for the same score, but the A is a better tile to keep it more bingo-y. Now, I still lead. This is opponent's rack. He's got the blank, no bingo, plays Cog. And I play Airman, which looks fine. A lot better than Merv in terms of rack leave, and then all the other moves score a lot less. Now, great spot by opponent with a lot of vowels. Oedipus onto the N, and Foderi the only other bingo. Now, I trail by only 20, but I haven't got a good rack, and I play Willie for 34, and I still like that. But great spot by opponent of Catty Pose, the only bingo. So I am now in trouble. I trail by 80 points, and my rack is non-bingo-y. N6, Plat. I thought about that, and then went with Gup for 2 more points. So, interestingly, I did actually consider both of these. So, is the rack leave of Doug's 2 points better than DLST? I would say not. I would say it's worse. I think there's a lack of synergy between D and G, and the U is bad. So, DGSU, the S is worth 8 to 10, D probably neutral, G and U negative. So, maybe all of this worth about +4. And then DLST, yeah, LS and T all help that, and then the D drags it back massively, but I would still say this is probably plus 8 or 9, so I think DLST is maybe 4 points better than DGSU, and therefore that is a better play. Now, opponent's rack plays Frib, and I'm still a bingo behind, and I play Kindled to open the board, and I like that. Opponent's rack plays Cousin, and now my rack deteriorates. I had high hopes after Kindled, keeping ST, but I've drawn poorly. And I thought about Ox keeping 5 consonants and went with Vexed for 22 fewer points, but a much better rack leave. And I stand by my play. I think I need a bingo to win, and I'm going to bingo a lot more often with GOST than GS double TV. So even if there may or may not be a 22-point difference in rack leaves, but I would say that's going to be close. GOST, I would say, is well, it's certainly positive. And I would say that's between, or probably around +10. But GS double TV, I would say it's worse than negative, maybe minus 5, between -5 and -10. So there could well be a 20-point difference in spread. Now, opponent's rack plays Jared. Phew, no missed bingo here, and I played Jabot for 42. And I still felt in the game. I trailed by 50 and I've got the S, so there are hopes of bingoing to win. Now, great spot by opponent of Numerate, which kills my swinger bingo, but was there an alternative? And there wasn't. An outswing was the most that could be scored. And opponent doesn't have a bingo, so I think that justifies outswing. And finally, Re for 18 was best. So, what a game. My wretched run continues. And a similar pattern, I get off to an early lead, and then opponent comes back with back-to-back bingos, establishes a lead, and I'm unable to get a bingo down. But in any event, it's still a fun game, and there were interesting moves to consider throughout, and certainly right up until the end, I had good winning prospects, and it was just opponent's play of Numerate which scuppered my swinger bingo, which could have led to victory. So super exciting stuff. Congratulations to opponent on his victory, and thanks to him for the game. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.